Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to my video series that is based on my book titled Naked Forex Trading Secrets. Trade macro and micro trends for a living. My name is Nana Osai, and in this video, I touch on the concept of valid pivot points. Let's jump to the charts to see. Now, in my previous video, we looked at valid swings. So, in this video, we're looking at valid pivot points. Now, what's a pivot point? A pivot point is simply a turning point in the market. So we have market going up here, reversing. So this point where it reverses, that's what we call the pivot point. It reverses, goes here, goes up, reverses here, reverses here. Now these are the points that we call pivot points, but not all of them are valid. If we do not come up with a model that will help us to distinguish valid and invalid pivot points, then we will be considering turning points such as this one, for example, as a valid pivot point. That is how come seasoned traders were skipping and considering some of the pivot points. If you have a model, you will not guess whether a pivot point is valid or invalid. Rather, you would confidently trade, you confidently read market structure. All right. So the turning points here, market got here, turned, swing, 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 swing. So turning points. So these are the turning points, all right? Turning points. Market got here, then reversed here. So this is the turning point. Okay, market got here and reversed. So this is the turning point. So these are turning points in the markets that we call pivot points. So what is a valid pivot point? Well, the definition of a valid pivot point is very simple. It is whereby you have a particular pivot point. Okay, so let me switch quickly to this where I will be able to mark. Okay, good. Okay, so these are the turning points, right? Turning points in the markets. I'm saying that when a turning point is preceded and followed by valid swings, then you have a valid pivot point. Okay, so what do I mean? Okay, so is this pivot point valid or not? Well, before we reach that pivot point, we got a valid swing here. And after that point, we got a valid swing here. So then this pivot point is valid. Now, is this pivot point valid or not? Well, before that pivot point, we got a valid swing. After that pivot point, we got a valid swing. Therefore, this is a valid pivot point. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, the market came here before going up and coming down. Now, is this a valid pivot point? That's my question to you. Is there a valid pivot point? From here to here, is there a valid pivot point? If you said yes, then you are right. Because when the market got here, it reversed. And between this, the high of this candle and the low of this candle, we have a space, making this swing a valid one before market got here. And then there was a reversal. In between this candle and this candle, there's a space in between them, making this swing also valid. Therefore, this is a valid pivot point. Okay, so you have another, and so on. So tell me now, is this turning point valid? this turning point? Is it valid? If you said yes, then you are wrong. If you said no, then you are right because this pivot point was preceded by a valid swing. That's right. But it wasn't followed by a valid swing. Therefore, we can't consider this as a high high yet. Okay, the market came up here and formed this swing at this pivot point, and then it was followed by another valid swing, and therefore this is a valid pivot point. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't yet have a copy of my book, you have it in the link beneath or below this video. I wish you all the best with your trading. See you in the next video. Hello traders, welcome once again to my video series that is based on my book titled Naked Forex Trading Secrets. Trade macro and micro trends for a living. My name is Nana Osai, and in this video I touch on the concept of valid and invalid pivot points. Specifically, this video is based on figure 5. I think the title is figure 5, valid and invalid pivot points. If you remember, there was a question in the book that required an answer. However, instead of displaying the answers there, I expected you to be able to do it. So for those who could not do it, here is the answer. Now the exercise requires that you identify the valid and invalid pivot points here. So it was asking which of these pivot points are valid. So let's answer the question together. So pivot point B, is it valid or not, and why? Well, if you say it was valid, then you are right. Because in between the low of this candle and the high of this candle, there was a valid swing. There was a space, meaning that this swing was valid. And in between the high of this candle and the low of this candle, there is a space here. And so this was also swing. It was also a valid swing. So the fact that um, pivot point B was preceded and also followed by valid swings, pivot point B is valid. Now what about pivot point A? Well, we know that this pivot point is valid. We know that this swing is valid. And this swing coming all the way here is also valid. So this is valid. Pivot point D, is it valid? Yes, because it is preceded by a valid swing and another valid swing. Pivot point C, is it valid? Yes, because it was followed by a valid swing and also preceded by a valid swing. Pivot point F, is it valid? No, it is not valid. Okay, it is not valid. Okay, because it is not preceded by a valid swing, but it is followed by a valid swing. So the fact that it lacks a preceding valid swing makes it invalid. Pivot point E, is it valid? No, it is not valid because it wasn't followed by a pivot, a valid swing. Okay, so it means that, now let me finish, I'll touch on something. Pivot point G, is it valid or not? It is valid because it's preceded by a valid swing and also another valid swing, followed by a valid swing. Pivot point H, is it valid or invalid? It is valid because it has a preceding valid swing and a valid swing following. Then you have pivot point H, pivot point J, is it valid? Yes, it is valid because it's preceded and also followed by a valid swing. Pivot point I, is it valid? Yes, it's valid because it's preceded and also followed by a valid swing. Pivot point JK, is it valid? Yes, because it's preceded and also followed by a valid swing. And this is also valid. Yes. So now, if you find the invalid pivot points, it means that if you count this as a lower low and a lower high, the fact that this lacks that validity means that you don't even count that. So you, from here, you go lower low, lower high, then straight to lower low. Yes. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't yet have a copy of the book, it is below this. You'll find a link to the book below this video. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.